Good day, Mr. Mugg. What brings you?
I am exceeding ill, Dr. Forman. Verily I am. And you know my wife. She is refusing to hear anything about it. 'Tis but another of your delusions, Nicholas, she says. She will not even look at it.
Look at what? Oh, I see. You may pull up your breeches now. Pray let me examine you more closely. Raise your chin, if you please. Now, loosen your garter and remove your stocking. I am afeard this verily is grave. Most grave indeed.
'Tis? Verily?
I believe so, but we must have it confirmed by the stars. Let us consult them now. What explains these swellings that have arisen on various parts of Nicholas Mugg's body? You have scrofula, a disease commonly known as the King's Evil. It is very grave, but worry not, for I have a cure close at hand.
Ah, the King's Evil. 'Tis the ailment that may be cured by the placing of royal hands upon the neck. Oh, you do not mean to say that Her Majesty the Queen herself is at this very moment—
What? No, of course not. I was referring to my famous strong water. A moment, if you please, while I retrieve it from my cabinet. But, sir, unhand it, sir. The dosage is very precise. You must not— nay, not the whole bottle. Ye gods, man, what have you done?
Methinks I am dying.
Oh, woe! A fatal dose! Alas, I am sorry for it, sir, but you were never meant to drink so much of it. Oh, may God forgive me.
Nay, do not blame yourself, Doctor. Thank ye heartily, for at last all shall know, my wife, my friends, how wrong they were, and how I did speak true.
William! William! Oh, curse it, where is that feckless manservant of mine? William! Go forth and fetch the vicar!
Mr. Forman, you have been called before this assembly of the College of Physicians to answer the charge of practicing medicine without a medical license. What have you to say in your defense? Would you deny practicing medicine, sir?
Why, no, I would not deny it. My practice is well known. Indeed, since I helped cure the plague of '92 with my strong water—
Then you admit you have committed this most grievous offence.
Well, 'tis true I'm not technically licensed, but I fail to see how—
You fail to see? Then permit me to enlighten you, sir. A medical license assures the residents of London that a physician has the necessary education and skill to treat them. By practicing without qualification, you have not only broken the law, you have endangered the lives of your patients. Indeed, we have received reports that a man by the name of Nicholas Mugg, a wig-maker of Silver Street, has lately died under your care.
Aye, well, that was most lamentable, but not my fault, sir. Mr. Mugg took a far greater dose of my strong water than I advised him to. He chose the dosage himself. In truth, one might say that the cause of death in this instance was, well, Nicholas Mugg practicing without a medical license.
Silence, Mr. Forman! Your impudent japery may well be suffered by your patients, but it will not be tolerated here.
I do apologize, Mr. Smith.
Besides the death of this patient, we have gathered ample evidence of your malpractice, Mr. Forman. Indeed, we have had this illegal operation of yours under observation for quite some time.
'Twas you, Riccardo Ferraro, the merchant from Venice. All along he was you, Richard Smith, the Queen's royal physician. Then I take it, Mr. Smith, you were unsatisfied with the medical care I gave you?
Sir, we are well aware of your occult practices. What you so boldly call medical care was naught but advice conjured up by means of dark magic. You have no understanding of physic or astrology.
But my knowledge of both physic and astrology is unparalleled.
If that is so, then doubtless you will happily submit to having your knowledge examined before this assembly. Silence! Simon Forman, it is apparent your answers were given to you by demon spirits that you have been communing with under the table. Constable, shackle this man and take him from hence to jail.
But, sir, this is most unjust. Pray afford me the chance to unhand me, you rogue.
Alice Black, she feels no shame, and forsooth is she to blame. If we were her, we'd do the same. Alice Black, she feels no shame.
Good day, Mistress Blagg. Before we start, I must thank you for having used your influence to help me resolve my recent difficulties.
Say nothing of it. Those doctors and their College of Physicians. Naught but a band of piss-pot-sniffing bullies, so they are. Besides, I needed you out of prison so that you might read the stars for me.
I see. And what would you have me advise you on?
What know you of Richard Bancroft, the Bishop of London?
Not much, in truth. But I did attend the Easter service at St. Paul's. I found the bishop's sermon on the virtues of chastity and abstinence most compelling. Why, you know him well?
Not very well as yet. I was seated beside him at an Episcopal dinner Saturday last. We discoursed a while. Bishop Bancroft is a most charming man. But there was a moment when we did both reach for the brandy decanter. Our eyes met and I felt something.
'Twas a spark between you and the bishop? You felt a certain frisson in the air?
Nay, I felt a certain hand up my skirts, more like.
His Grace put his hand up your skirts! Madam, may I say how—
Save your congratulations, Forman. The bishop's not in the bag yet. Hence why I am come to you. Now that I have piqued his interest, I would have the stars tell me how to secure it.
Then you wish to pursue an amorous affair with Bishop Bancroft. But what of your husband, Dean Blagg?
Oh, do not speak to me of my husband. Thomas Blagg is not fit to secure his wife's future. He is not fit for many of his marital duties, truth be told. But you did warn me of Blagg's financial ruin, and for that I am grateful.
Forsooth, I am glad I was able to be of service to you, Mistress Blagg.
Speaking of such, let us press on with this day's readings, if you please.
Of course, let us consult the stars. How may Mistress Blagg secure the lasting affections of Richard Bancroft, the Bishop of London? The stars suggest a most ingenious plan for ensnaring the bishop, Mistress Bligh.
Oh, verily?
Aye, 'tis most cunning. First, you must offer him your tender favours, and then, several weeks following this encounter, you must go to him and tell him you are with child. If the bishop be a man of sentiment, the news will doubtless make him feel bound to you.
I own that such a ruse could work. 'Tis hardly ingenious, though, is it? Half the mothers in London give their daughters such advice.
Do they indeed? Well, there is more. The stars suggest you will find occasion for such an encounter while the bishop is away from home on business. Mayhap you arrange a discreet assignation for his next visit to the Archbishop's palace in Lambeth.
On my honour, that is not a bad idea. In sooth, I think it may do very well. For as 'tis oft said, that which does occur at Lambeth Palace does bide at Lambeth Palace.
Indeed. How very intriguing. Pray tell me of these goings-on at Lambeth Palace.
Lancelot more, lovely his passion, lacking in mind, fulsome in fashion, the unwise truth calls him chance, he yet persists in chasing the scat.
Good day, sir, and well met. Pray tell, did you secure the hand of the golden-haired maiden?
Yeah, verily I did. My religious conversion to Puritanism did work wondrous well to win her favour.
Then my advice was sound.
Aye, after I told her that I thought the Queen dresses like a strumpet, the Pope is the demon son of Satan, and that Will Shakespeare and his players should be driven into the Thames to drown, she became convinced of the purity of my soul. I was made the happiest of men.
Then I must congratulate you on your forthcoming nuptials. Will you be having a summer wedding, or...?
Congratulate me? Do not congratulate me, Forman, for I am the unhappiest of men. It was but a day after our engagement was announced that my love became afflicted with the smallpox. Naturally, I was all a terror. Would she perish? So wretched was I with fear, I almost died of fright.
Aye, naturally. Smallpox is a most terrible disease. I intend to write a small treatise on the subject.
But then, alas! Fate struck the cruelest of blows upon my soul.
Oh, verily. Poor girl. May she rest in peace. Or resqueeze in pace, as we Latin scholars say.
What? Nay, death would have been a mercy. For once cured, the maid arose from her sickbed bearing hideous scars. Her once fair cheeks, thus so cratered, to make the very moon wane with envy.
I see. And now you wish to extract yourself from your engagement, I presume.
Naturally. But her brother and father are fearsome men with a taste for rough sport, and her mother's tongue is as sharp as a barber's blade. I worry that my breach of promise may be taken ill.
Then let me see if I may fathom the family's reaction from the stars. What will become of breaking your engagement to this once fair, now pox-scarred maid? The stars suggest you have much to fear from this family. Aye, you must flee England at once. For according to my precise calculations, based on the current alignment of the planets, let me see now. Yes, you will be branded a cuck-born, snatch-grabbing knave of the lowest order, who deserves to be disemboweled with a pudding spoon. That is, if I'm not mistaken. And not even God is on your side, for it is his plan that you may be dragged into a foggy-headed confusion so as to render you defenceless against the family's dark intentions. Oh, good sir, you must heed my warning and never show your face in London lest you be set upon most violently.
God's blood! I must flee England's shores and never show my face, you say? But whither shall I go? Hold, I have it. Be it not carnival season in Venice, when citizens do hide their faces behind masks? Oh, and with such style. I thank you, Forman, for you have been most helpful. I must fly at once to my tailor to be measured for the latest Venetian fashions.
Archbishop Whitgift, glory to the Lord in the highest position in the church, except for the Queen. Glory to the Lord, Archbishop Whitgift.
Ho! Ho there! Be there anyone at home?
Is it? By the saints, 'tis none other than Archbishop John Whitgift. Your Grace, I am most honoured by this most unexpected visit.
Truly, 'tis most unexpected, as I just so happened to be passing by. Indeed, I was riding by in my carriage when I found myself struck ill. My chaplain did suggest I take rest at the nearest residence, which did so happen to be this small dwelling. Forsooth, these rooms have the look of a physician's consulting chambers. Mayhap you are a doctor? If that be true, then praise be to God for this happy coincidence.
A most fortunate coincidence indeed. I am Simon Forman, a doctor of astrology and physic. At your service, Your Grace.
Well then, Dr. Forman, was it? Perchance you will tell me what ails me. I feel a kind of pain and heaviness in my side, and I know not if this be related, but my skin has of late become most unattractive in appearance.
Pain in the right side of the body and sallowness of the skin?
Her Majesty did remark upon it most wittily the other day at a meeting of the Privy Council. Your face does serve as a warning to us all, Archbishop.
Her Majesty the Queen, verily. A moment, if I may, Your Grace, while I consult the stars. What does cause the suffering of His Grace, the Most Reverend John Whitgift, the Archbishop of Canterbury? You are afflicted with jaundice, Your Grace. Yellow bile has seeped into your skin, causing it to become yellow-hued in appearance.
'Tis the jaundice, is it? I see.
Pray, have a servant boil this pouch of herbs in water. The liquor is to be injected up the fundament once each day. It should draw the collar away from your skin and into your bowels. William!
Excellent. I will have my chaplain see to it. My, who do we have here?
Before you take your leave, Your Grace, I would have my manservant William let blood from your right arm.
Indeed. Very well, then.
Before you depart, Your Grace, perchance I might trouble you with a request of my own?
Good day, sir. My chaplain will settle payment with you anon.
What does it matter if errors he makes? Let others mend all the things their sixth breaks. Our Lord has much to gain from the risks he takes. Commoners may pay, but nobles only learn from their mistakes.
Good day, my lord, and well met. Indeed, methinks I have not seen your lordship since last year, afore you set off with Sir Walter Raleigh to capture those Spanish treasure ships.
Ah, yes. Doubtless you heard what became of that expedition. The town criers called it Raleigh and Essex's gold piracy fail, declaring it the biggest balls-up since the English Armada.
Aye, 'twas most ill-mannered of them, if I may remark.
'Tis all Raleigh's fault, of course. For when I revealed that I had gotten our navigational directions from you, he had our men turn the fleet around and sail in the opposite direction. 'Twas his navigation that got us lost. Our ships ended up becalmed in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, leaving England undefended. Who is the beef-headed chudlord now, eh, Raleigh?
Well, indeed.
Of course, Raleigh refuses to apologise, and we are no longer on speaking terms.
Alas, 'tis most lamentable you were unable to use the directions I gave you. Well now, how may I assist you this day?
I would have you tell me how I might regain the favour of the Queen. Indeed, 'tis strange she has not yet gotten over her displeasure, for the incident did occur many months ago. And we had every intention of returning her warships, filled to the brim with gold, I might add. Besides, how in the devil's name were we supposed to know the King of Spain would choose that very same month to invade England? I have not the power to predict the future.
Well, nay, but I have, my lord, if you had asked me to.
Verily, 'tis not to be borne. Only last week at a meeting of the Privy Council, during a minor disagreement regarding the Catholic rebellion in Ireland, she called me an impudent lord-splainer, whereupon she rose from her chair and molly-whopped me in the face. I half drew my sword upon her.
You mean the Queen?
Aye, indeed. Her behaviour was most shocking. I even asked the royal physician whether she may have lost her mind. She is, after all, most elderly. But Mr. Smith assures me she is in very fine health and is in full control of her faculties.
Her Majesty's behaviour is a mystery indeed, although mayhap it should not surprise us. A man's reason is oft insufficient to fathom the workings of the feminine mind, and, in such cases, he may have little choice but to call upon divine wisdom. To wit, let us see what the stars can tell us. What must Lord Devereux do to regain the Queen's favour? My lord, the stars suggest you may regain the Queen's favour by offering her yours.
By offering her my favour?
Well, your tender favours, to be precise.
God's underlumps! You would have me bed the Queen? Doubtless you have never seen Her Majesty at close quarters. Elizabeth may be in fine health for an old woman, but she is more advanced in years than my own mother.
I am afeard the stars are most clear on this, my lord. Indeed, Pluto being coupled with Uranus, aye, 'tis clear a gentle wooing leading to intimate relations with Her Majesty is your only means of quelling her current animus towards you.
I see. Well then, if woo her I must, then woo her I will. If only to regain my influence and ensure the safety of the realm. I must avert my eyes and think of England.
disapproves of Mary for her views. They make him sick, but pray he does not tell her, lest she punch him in the punch him in the
Good day, Mistress Payne. How may I help you this day?
Blessed day, Dr. Forman. I am just come from taking my niece to visit Rochester Cathedral. Thomas Blogg is the cathedral's dean, I believe. Know you of Dean Blogg?
Aye, I know something of him.
Verily, that man is a model to us all. Under his stewardship, the cathedral's decadent furnishings have been stripped away. He has even replaced the silver candlesticks with pewter. Such pious modesty in the sight of God.
Has he indeed? How very interesting. And, godly, yes. But what is it that brings you this day?
Before I begin upon my business, Dr. Forman, I must commend you for correctly predicting the sinking of the Spanish Armada.
Ah, yes. 'Twas I who did predict the great storm that sunk the Spanish ships, was it not? I have oft thought that careful study of coastal weather patterns may provide...
And we must give thanks to God for the divine vengeance he wrought upon the heretics. I did hear that by morning our beaches were verily littered with the corpses of Spanish sailors. Praise be to the Lord, his glory to behold.
Yes, praise be. But all the same, you seem anxious this day, Mistress Payne. What is troubling you?
Indeed, I am troubled, Dr. Forman. I fear for the Queen's health. Everyone is saying that as she is exceeding old, she is soon to die.
Ah, yes, I quite understand your feelings, madam. How we love our good Queen Bessie. Long may she reign. But will she? That is the question, is it not? For she cannot live forever, and when at last she does expire, we shall be stricken with such lamentation and grief.
Mayhap you, but not I. Elizabeth Tudor is naught but a sceptred whore, but still a whore who presides over the Church of England and keeps Rome at bay. And without an heir, who knows what manner of foreigner may succeed her when she dies? For all we know, he may flood the land with foul popery.
Foul popery? I take it you do not care for dried floral arrangements. But, madam, surely fresh flowers are more customary at royal funerals.
Did you not heed me, Mr. Forman? I wish to know whether the English throne is safe from a Catholic successor.
Ah, yes, of course. Then let us consult the stars. Is our Queen's long reign in danger of ending soon? And if so, do we risk a Catholic succeeding her to the throne? I am afeard the stars say nothing of how much longer Elizabeth Tudor's reign will last. But when our Queen finally does expire, 'twill be most ill for us. For her successor will take England to war and tax us mightily to pay for it. We have naught to look forward to but a future of violence and austerity. I am sorry to be the bearer of such lamentable tidings, madam.
Lamentable? I suppose it might be. It would depend on whether English blood is to be spilled in the righteous service of God, or in service of the Antichrist in Rome? To wit, is our new sovereign to keep to the English Church, or will he be a Roman Catholic, Dr. Forman?
My chart is not clear on this question, though it does indicate that Elizabeth's most likely successor, King James of Scotland, has a deceitful nature. Mayhap he hides secret Romish sympathies?
Mayhap? Mayhap is no answer at all. Verily, Dr. Forman, your stars have been of very little use to me this day. Very little use indeed.
Rejoice, rejoice in the Lamb, served by his Bishop, to his guests for dinner at his palace in love. Rejoice, rejoice in the Lamb, and beef and pork and swan pie.
Good day, and well met, Lord Archbishop. What a pleasure it is to welcome your grace once more to my humble consulting chambers. Do you ail of something, sir?
Nay, I am in good health. I am come for information. That is, I am come for an astrological reading concerning one of my deans, Thomas Blagg, the Dean of Rochester Cathedral. I hear you are acquainted with him, are you not?
Yes, so please your grace. I am honoured to say that Dean Blagg is one of my querents.
I see. What a remarkable coincidence. Then you may know that Dean Blagg has been petitioning me to promote him to the rank of bishop, specifically to grant him the vacant seat of the bishopric of Salisbury. I wonder if you, that is, if the stars and planets and so forth, might tell me if there be any reason why Thomas Blagg might not be a fitting candidate for such a position of responsibility.
I see. Then let us see what the stars can tell us. Should Thomas Blagg, Dean of Rochester, be made the Bishop of Salisbury? The stars urge you to grant the bishopric to Thomas Blagg, your grace.
Oh, indeed.
Aye, for it seems that as Dean of Rochester Cathedral, he has proved himself to be a competent and frugal manager of church funds. Indeed, I have heard he furnishes the cathedral very sparsely, so concerned is he not to waste the church's money.
A competent manager, you say? Very good, very good. Then I suppose I shall grant Dean Blagg the bishopric.
Before you leave, your grace, perchance I may broach a small matter of my own. Methinks you have the power to grant medical licenses, do you not? Although I am an experienced physician, you may have heard of my work during the plague of 1592, for instance, I am not technically licensed to practice medicine. It has been causing some administrative troubles of late. I wonder if your grace might condescend to help me by...
You would have me grant you a medical license, would you? I suppose that might be arranged. Leave it with me, and I will have my chaplain look into it.
I thank you heartily, your grace. Your grace is most generous.
Alice Blagg is on the make, mayhap even on the take. Could it be for her family's sake? Seriously give her a break.
God give you good day, Mistress Blogg. Pray tell, what brings you?
I would know whether my lover, Owen Wood, is resolved to leave me something in his will. A small legacy, mayhap. A large one. I do hope he intends to leave me something.
Owen Wood? He is the Dean of Armagh, is he not? But were you not pursuing, Richard Bancroft, the Bishop of London?
Aye, and your notion to use Lambeth Palace for an assignation did work wondrous well. We had a small dalliance, the Bishop and I. But 'tis all over now, for I did end it.
Only a small dalliance. But I thought your plans for the Bishop were larger in scope. In our last consultation, you had me believe you were looking for something more substantial.
Aye, I was. But I will not lie, I was disappointed.
I see. Now perchance we may proceed to this matter concerning Owen Wood. Pray tell, why would you wish to know whether he has included you in his will? Is he gravely ill?
Not presently, but methinks he will be soon, for he has gone to Ireland to join that peacocking mumphead, the Earl of Essex.
I see. He has gone to fight in Robert Devereux's military campaign to put down the Catholic rebels in Ireland. But you're being a little harsh, are you not? 'Tis true he has had some bad luck of late, but the Earl is a fine...
Oh, a swole-headed failson is what his lordship is. 'Twould not surprise me if he read his map upside down and marched his men into a bog to drown. Pray, let us do my reading, if you please.
Certainly. If Owen Wood, the Dean of Armagh, were to die, would Alice Blogg inherit anything from his estate? You are indeed mentioned in Dean Wood's will. Unbeknownst to his wife, he plans to leave you a portion of his fortune. Forsooth, that is what the stars do tell, but if I might offer you my own counsel...
Oh, what an angel of a man! Did I not know it? Dearest Owen, I shall raise a toast to him at the Quiet Bear this even.
Almighty God, shelter thy servant Thomas Blogg. Take him in thy merciful arms, and shake sense into him.
Good dawning, D. Blogg. How may I do you service this day?
I hope you will do me service, Dr. Forman, for at my last consultation you served me very ill. Indeed, your prediction that Raleigh and Essex would succeed in capturing those Spanish treasure ships did put me in a most lamentable position. I had my tailor fashion me these fine new robes, and now I have not the money to pay him for it.
Then I'm heartily sorry for it, sir. Though your new robes are indeed very fine. Is that a different shade of black, or...?
And I know not how, but my wife Alice has lately learned of our perilous financial situation.
Has she?
Aye, and she has had me petition the Archbishop for a promotion. 'Tis her reckoning that if I were promoted to bishop, the increased living would enable me to settle our debts.
That would seem wise under the circumstances. And was your petition successful?
It was. At least at first. Indeed, His Grace did have me believe he is minded to make me Bishop of Salisbury.
The Bishopric of Salisbury? But that is excellent well, is it not?
It would be very well, forsooth. But many months have passed, and the Archbishop gives yet no sign of granting the vacant bishopric to anybody.
I see. And he does not say when the matter may be decided?
Nay, indeed he does not. Whenever I raise the question with his grace, he says he needs time to consider the various episcopal and doctrinal matters concerning such an appointment. All the while, he has me performing additional duties that I dare not refuse, lest I lose his favour. And Mistress Blagg has sent him pies upon numerous occasions.
And yet the Archbishop is not moved? Well, he must be a very hard man indeed, for your wife's pies are well renowned for their powers of persuasion. Now, let us see what the stars can tell us. Will Thomas Blagg, Dean of Rochester, be granted the bishopric of Salisbury? Pack up your trunks and ready your horses, Dean Blagg. For the stars advise you and your wife to make holiday. Maybe a hunting tour of Essex? In any case, you may celebrate, as you are to be made Bishop of Salisbury, and your fortune is soon to be restored. God himself has seen fit to reward your loyal service to the Church.
He has? Blessed day! O Heavenly Father, I give thanks unto thee that thou hast bestowed upon thy servant such honour and such a considerable increase in yearly income.
Lancelot more struck by the muse, for his sonnets found there be no excuse. Many do strike him as well, and for his verse they damn him to hell.
Good morrow, Mr. Moore. You are returned from Italy, I see.
Aye, and I had the most enlightening experience. My tutors taught me all about those ancient Romans and what-not. Indeed, 'tis a changed man you see before you now, a worldly man of culture and learning. Mayhap you would benefit from taking a tour of Italy yourself, Forman.
Alas, Mr. Moore, I must remain in London to care for my querents. As to wit, what brings you this day?
Well, no sooner did I return to London than I did become acquainted with the most wondrous creature, a lady who has been lately widowed.
Ah, let me just take some notes here. Is this one dark or fair? Auburn with eyes of green, mayhap? I do not believe there's yet been an auburn-haired maid.
Fie, Mr. Forman. Prithee show more respect for ladies than to view them as mere collections of physical charms. Beauty alone is of nothing to a man such as I. Nay, my heart does belong to a worldly woman of culture and learning, her head almost as striking as the soft hair and radiant eyes that adorn it. Indeed, her gift of understanding is so strong she can listen to my sonnets for hours on end.
She can she? Forsooth, the lady does show great strength of mind indeed. And how might I advise you?
I would have you tell me whether I should marry her, for, as you know, I have offered my troth to ladies in the past, and it has not ended well for me. So, this time I did tell myself, Lancelot, you will proceed with caution. You will know the lady for at least a month before you think of wedding her, and then you'll go directly to Forman for his counsel.
Then let us consult the stars now. Should Lancelot Moore marry this wondrous and worldly widow? You must not marry this lady, sir. You are a wealthy man, and she has designs upon your fortune that may result in your untimely death.
Ye gods! Verily?
I am afeard so. You must take care not to let your emotions lead you astray.
She seemed so. She told me she... Are you sure? You did not put a planet in the wrong house or what not?
Aye, quite sure.
Oh, well indeed, 'tis most lamentable. Oh, what a waste of such fine eyes. Mayhap Emma has a sister.
Sybil's not blessed, for when she tries her best, 'tis then she does the worst. From being overdressed to poisoning her guests, ambition a curse.
Good day, Mistress Fortescue.
I do hope you may help me, Dr. Forman, for I am mightily afflicted with fever and pain.
Yes, I see. Your face is a trifle red in colour. When did your troubles begin? At a dinner party, perchance?
Nay, 'twas at a luncheon, the one I gave this day. I sought to play a trick upon my friend, Lady Emma Dyer, and I worry God is punishing me for my japery.
And what manner of jape did you play on your friend at this luncheon of yours? Pray, describe the ruse to me.
Well, I came upon the idea when I took receipt of a trunk full of exotic goods from the New World. Lovely gifts sent home to me by my gallant husband. Know you of my husband, Captain Henry Fortescue? He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh, of course.
I think you have mentioned him once or twice, madam.
The trunk contained a parcel of dried fruits, full red in colour they were, and with them a note of warning. On it was writ that these fruits, if not consumed in moderation, can provoke a hot, pricking fever when ingested.
Ah, yes. I have read of this fruit in the writings of Spanish explorers. Capsicum Icaramba mequema is the botanical name, I believe.
I am well known for serving the most original dishes at my table. Hence my guests were not surprised when I invited them to try my exotic fruit. I served them each a sweet pie containing one of these, capsicum...
Icaramba mequema.
But I made sure Emma received a pie containing the very largest fruit, and I the very smallest one.
I see. You hoped to occasion a fever in your friend while escaping the same fate yourself. And yet this ruse did not succeed, I take it.
Nay, it did not, Dr. Forman. Most of my guests dared only take one bite of their pies before abandoning them, finding themselves unequal to the challenge. But Emma ate hers all up, as did I. I was sure I would be safe, and that she would turn red and begin to perspire most shamefully, but she remained as cool as a cucumber. But
you, madam?
But I began to feel such pain in my mouth and throat. My face and eyes turned red. Moisture gathered on my brow and bosom, and damp marks appeared on my bodice. I could not conceal it from my guests. 'Twas humiliating.
How distressing for you, madam. Let us now seek a solution to this mystery in the stars. What might explain the querent's affliction? One moment, madam, while I consult that Spanish book I mentioned earlier, the one recounting travels in the New World. Ah, yes, that is interesting.
What is interesting, Dr. Forman?
The stars say you have quinsy, and this book confirms my suspicions as to what provoked it. Madam, 'tis not the larger fruits that occasion pain when consumed, 'tis the small ones, such as the one you had baked into the pie for yourself.
You mean to say the smaller fruits are more dangerous than the larger ones? How strange! Verily, how topsy-turvy!
The pain will be gone by the morrow, but in the meantime you may find relief by washing your mouth out with wine.
Burgundy wine? Or will an ordinary claret suffice?
Any wine will do, madam. God give ye good even, Mistress Fortescue.
Humphrey Bell, who is this coming youth? Mayhap a little shy, but pleasing to the eye. His eyes, his hair, his shape, the form, forsooth, has he a sweetheart? Pray tell us the truth.
Good morrow, young sir. Methinks this is your first consultation, Mr.
Humphrey Bell, sir.
And how may I do you service this day, Mr. Bell?
I want to get lean in that.
You wish to become lean, you say? And why would you need to be any leaner than you are now? You do not appear at all overplump. Indeed, you appear to be a young man in the full vigour of health.
Yay, but I do the lady parts though, innit?
You do the lady parts. Oh, I see. You are a player who plays feminine roles upon the stage. Yes, I think I recognise you now. You play for Lord Chamberlain's men, do you not? The company of players led by Will Shakespeare, Richard Burbage and Will Kemp, among others.
Aye, sir. I play for them as a hired man, and next month I'm to play a fairy queen in a play we're doing for Lord Hunsdon at his daughter's wedding. But bossman Burbage says I'm too plump for the role.
Humphrey, your girth does make it difficult for an audience to imagine you getting up out of your fairy throne, let alone flying.
Yes, I think I understand. 'Twould imperil the audience's suspension of disbelief, thus breaking the fourth wall, as you players so call it.
Ah, sir, indeed. Mr. Burbage worries much for them scenery walls, for he says my rear end is of such a size 'tis liable to smash right through 'em. Anyways, Mistress Burbage told me that to fit into her gowns she bids herself chunder after eating. Might you give me some herbs for that or something?
And Mistress Burbage would be Richard Burbage's wife, I presume. Well, to judge what would be most effective in your case, I shall need to consult the stars. What should Mr. Humphrey Bell do to become leaner? The solution is quite simple, Mr. Bell. If you would make yourself leaner, you have but to eat less.
Why would I need a doctor to tell me that, though? I need something to do it quicker than that, urgent-like. Know you what I mean?
Indeed. Sadly, I am familiar with the tendency of the young folk of this day to seek quick, easy fixes to their problems.
What about Mrs. Burbage and her chundering, though? Can I not have what she is taking?
Well, there are ways to induce imbalances in your body to purge itself, but doing so is not at all healthsome. For instance, I might have told you of the dangerous practice of taking goodly quantities of prunes and rhubarb to purge from the fundament, but that would have been negligent of me, for as a physician I cannot endorse...
Prunes and rhubarb? So I just eat them things. Easy.
Thank
you, Doctor. Give you a good day.
Hold, sir. I'd strongly advise against such a...
Favoured is Essex and close to the crown. Nobles like him do fare up more than down. His family's too grand to jail, too rich to jail. But if Essex disobeys the Queen, she'll put him in the ground.
Good day, my lord. I must own, your lordship's visit to my chambers does surprise me, for I'd believed, well, indeed all of England believes, that you are in Ireland at present.
Did anyone see me? No? Good. Now bid your manservant close the shutters.
As your lordship pleases. William! William! Pray close the shutters. Yes, all of them. And fetch us some candles.
I pray the counsel you give me this day be wise, sirrah, for I find myself in the most desperate of predicaments. Indeed, I pray your advice be wiser than it was the last time. Your suggestion I cajole the Queen with my tender favours. Forsooth, it worked only too well. The old bat took to calling me her best boy, and sent me off on this damnable quest to put down the Irish rebellion.
I know well, sir, for I was part of the great parade down the streets of London to see you off. And now you are back from Ireland victorious, are you not? Ah, I see by your face. Not so much.
God's breath! Have you seen the Irish? They are savages. That Irish chieftain O'Neill and his band of fen-born brutes are especially bad.
Forsooth, they sound most fearsome. 'Tis a mercy you escaped with your life, and are now back home safe in England.
Nay, I am not yet safe in England, I fear. For when the Queen finds out that I made a truce with O'Neill, heaven only knows how ill she will take it. Even my leaving Ireland without her permission will doubtless vex her.
Then the Queen has not been informed of your return?
Nay, she knows yet nothing of it. I am at present taking refuge with my sister, the Countess of Devonshire, at her country estate. But I cannot hide there forever. Hence I am come to you this day so that the stars may advise me on how I may extract myself from my current predicament and win back the favour of the Queen.
Then let us see what the stars advise. How might Lord Devereux escape the displeasure of Her Majesty the Queen and regain her favour? The stars foretell of violence enacted by officers of the law.
Ah, verily. 'Tis doubtless a beheading. Forsooth, I do enjoy a good beheading.
Well, 'tis likely to be a trifle more elaborate than that. If the Queen is particularly vexed, it will start with a quick hanging until just afore the point of death, followed by a disemboweling and emasculation.
Ah, yes, of course.
Whereafter the gentleman is invited to watch his own entrails and privy parts being lightly grilled upon an open fire, before he is chopped into 4 separate pieces.
A quartering, I think you mean?
which, as etiquette dictates, are then to be parcelled up and sent as gifts to any friends and family members unable to attend the ceremony.
Ah, yes, splendid. An execution with all the trimmings. Verily, whilst a simple beheading can be a most elegant entertainment, 'tis a trifle too, continental for my taste. Why, 'tis oft over in mere moments, whereas a full English execution keeps one entertained throughout the whole morning. Though I fail to see what this has to do with... God's breakfast! You mean I am the one to be hung, drawn, and quartered?
Well, yes, very possibly. I am afeard the only course left to you now is to humble yourself before the Queen. The stars suggest you might be able to convince her to look upon you as the son she never had. A naughty, wayward child who has rebelled against his parent. With time and patience, she may forgive you.
God's teeth! 'Twas only last year that I was bedding her. And now I am to have the Queen look upon me as if I were her own son?
Yea.
Then let me think on this. Well, to be sure, 'twould be more pleasant to play the son than the lover, and it might even clear the path for the possibility of... Yes, methinks this plan may serve me very well.